Hi, it's Charlie giving you Friday's live trading. It's 25 past 7. Just a quick look through this market's early before I log in with all of our swing traders. I'm doing a whole day with them again today. So this is just some hourly charts here. This is cable first of all. So let's go out to the daily actually. So yes, we've come down somewhat, not a huge amount there on cable. But it is down. So that's the path of least resistance, generally speaking, and it's the same with the euro and so on and so forth. So I'm not going to go through all of these and just say the same thing. So what I'm looking for is, yep, we're getting a bounce here early this morning, but it's a fairly contained bounce at the moment. It's only early doors though, so I'm going to be watching to see what the price action is going to be like as we go through this. I may well be selling now. If I do any selling, just for the purposes of disclosure, I am already in positions on euro dollar, so sitting on £2,000 of profit at the moment on those positions from this past week or so that I've been putting those positions in. So obviously anything I do today will be in addition to what's already there. So I'll press pause for now. I'm going to be looking for shorts, even though we've had a good run down. And we could easily have an update today, but the path of least resistance is to the downside, so I'm going to be looking to see if we get any weakness coming in or any opportunities. So I'll press pause. So, okay, just back, and yep, I've got this early trade here on the pound. If I can bring up some deal tickets, so I'm going to be shorting the pound here with. I've calculated it's about 3.5 lots, if I'm right. No, not quite. So it'll be 3 lots. So first ticket in. So I'm just got to get 3 separate entries of 100,000 in, because if I can bring the other ticket up. So quickly enough, there we go. So that's the second one, and then the third one. So I have to split them up the way it works on Saxo. I have to split my trades. Now I'll bring them over. So let's see if we can bring them over. So short the pound. Short the pound. There it is. Just need to put these stops in. So these stops are going in at 137.70. 137.70. 37.70. And then I'll put the other 2 in. So I split them up the way that I do it because I have to. If I want to take partial exits, if it does come down to a profit zone, then by splitting my orders into 3, it gives me that flexibility to be able to do that. Saxo's not very good. If I just put one order in of 300,000, then it wouldn't allow me to break that up as far as targets are concerned. So anyway, so I've split it into 3. And we'll see what happens. I'm fairly pragmatic about this one here this morning. We'll see how we go through the day. Like I've already said in my intro, we could end up with an update here today, but I'm going to go with the prevailing sort of trend. And so as far as the first targets are concerned, I've got a level down here, what I call my lower band down here. So that would probably mark my first sort of target there, and then we'll look at additional targets if it can get down to there first of all. So what I'm effectively doing here is it's had a nice retracement. Here's the 4-hour chart. My 4-hour 20 still facing down, so that was a big thing for me to when I've got price up and the other side of something like the 20, but the 20 still angled and facing down. So that was the main thing. I looked through the other markets. They're all doing bounces this morning, and so we'll see how it's going to play out. Could be over very quickly, but if they all decide to retrace a bit more. Looking at the euro dollar, that one could want to retrace all the way up to its hourly 50. If that one starts bouncing up here, then cable will certainly just be coming straight up as well. So anyway, that's where I'm at. Coming down to those smaller time frames, we've got the smaller time frame MAs that have started to turn, but it is still very early doors. So anyway, we'll see how this one plays out. So I'm about a little bit under full size risk because the position size calculator was saying to do 3.4 lots, so I just put 3 lots in. Can't be bothered to put a 0.4 in. So anyway, I'll press pause for now and we'll see how this gets on. Okay, just back, and yeah, as I said, it could be over very quickly, and you can see I have already been stopped there. So minus £523 there on the on that pound trade. But like I've said, I'm going to be eyeing up other shorts today, and we'll see how it pans out. So it's possible I could trade the pound again because it's still, that pattern is still in play, like I went through. We've still got that downwards facing 20, but it could well be that I end up flicking over to the euro because the euro, generally speaking, has been that much weaker than the pound. This is the daily chart here, so so it could be that I'm short in the euro. So I'm going to give a short another attempt today, and it'll either be on the euro or the pound. So I'll press pause for now. Okay, just back here on the video. So cable is setting up for another attempt. So I'm going to get these entries in here. And so going to be getting in around about 67 or so. So I've got the entries all ready. So it's the same position size as before. So it's the same sort of risk as before as well. So I'm just going to hit these. And there we go. Now, if this one's over very quickly, that could just be that I end up, that's me done for the day sort of thing. So let's get the stop losses in. So short there at about 67. And the stop loss is going to go in at the highs here around about 87. 87. Yeah. Maybe 86. 86. 86. So I'm just going to get these in. Now, if this is over very quickly and this is just noise, then it could mean me, sort of done for the day. But anyway, let's do this. 13786. 1.3786, and I'll talk a little bit more about it in a second. 1.3786. So that's the stops in. So we're all set. So I've already got the we've got the first trade from cable. Like I've gone through earlier, yes, my euro dollar positions are all still sitting there from this week, but it's today is about today's trade here on trades on the pound. Excuse me, on the pound. So the stops in place. Let's go now and have a revisit of looking at those targets. So like I said earlier this morning, it's now 9 o'clock. This was all about going out to those bigger time frames, starting out on the daily charts. Pound is in a general downwards trend. Yes, it's having a nice bounce since yesterday, but of course, the general flow of the market is to the downside, and I've identified a situation whereby price has gone up and above the hourly 20, which is fine, but as you can see, the hourly 4-hour 20 is still sharply facing downwards. So I'm trading this based on this pattern here, that overall this is happening, and then I've just been looking for excuses to short based on the smaller time frames. So the first trade this morning was as price was rolling down here on the hourly. This was all obviously red at that point, and so that's what happened there. Now this trade is a little bit different. So if I take this to a 30-minute chart, so what's happened is, and we can see we've just closed at 9 o'clock on this red candle here. A little bit of divergent activity on the 30-minute chart and on the 15-minute chart as well. So so that's been my sort of entry zone there, coupled with some seller candles coming in there into the 9 o'clock time frame. So taking the top down approach, the bigger picture, taking it down to that 4-hour chart, the 4-hour 20 facing down, then looking for the excuses on and some sort of setup on the smaller time frames to then execute. Now, if I am wrong and this just comes up here today, then that will possibly be me done for the day. It might not be. I might put some sort of trade on euro dollar later, but certainly from an out and out day trade perspective, then it would be. But as far as targets are concerned, so coming back down to this, back to the 4 hour chart, the target will be the 4 hour 20. So that's wherever that is at the moment, down here. So it's it's a reasonable enough distance away. So let's just see first of all how this gets on. So the target's going to be back down at the 4 hour 20, and and that would be to like first target, and I can always then see if I can hold on to some and just trade manage from there onwards if that happens. But long way to go yet if that is what's going to happen. So I'll press pause for now, and we'll come back to this as and when. Okay, so I have just been stopped out. So it's a costly morning, I was just saying to my traders here today. So let's have a look. Bring up the account. Is it there? Did it drag? No, it didn't. Let's drag it over. The P&L. So £932, as you can see there, on the losses on the pound there. So I'm not going to take. I don't think. Well, I say that. I don't think I'll try the pound again. I've given it 2 attempts there, so I don't think I'll try that pound again now. So sometimes you give a market an attempt, and it still will roll over later on, and that does happen. So I'll keep my eye on it because the pattern itself hasn't changed, but it may well change as time goes on, because it's 10 o'clock now. That 20 will start to flatten off once we get to midday, once this 4 hour candle closes. So then the pattern isn't there anymore anyway, once that flattens. So but we'll see how it pans out. But I've given it that attempt there. Now, outside of that, nothing's really changed in relation to the overall analysis. So I'm now going back to the euro dollar, and I've sort of said, well, if the euro does do a bit of a bounce today, I might well put a short in on that. So the overall trend obviously is down and whatnot. And of course, as I've been saying all day, of course this could be the beginning of more of a bounce. But the trend is still obviously to the downside, and if I see something that I like, then I'll still trade that on the short side. So coming back to that euro, it was coming up towards its hourly 50. It's still not got there yet. So we'll see if that's going to get up to at least the hourly 50, and then I'll start to have a look at some of the other levels as and if it can get up to there. So that's where I'm at the moment. It's only, like I said, 10 o'clock, so I'll press pause for now. Back on. Okay, just back, and it looks like cable, I got spiked out there, and it happens on days. Sometimes you just get a bit chopped out. Your overall view might end up being correct, but so I was just talking to the guys here that the pattern itself is still in play. We've still got that downwards facing 20 there, and there's still potential here. So I'll looks like I'm going to take another trade because I've still got these other patterns going on here on the 30-minute and the 15-minute chart. So but I'll just downsize my position. So I'm not going to be putting in as much risk. So and I think this is where a lot of traders go wrong. They're so desperate to make back their losses that they just keep trading and trading and trading. This is a pattern that I've just been stopped out on a couple of times. The pattern is still there. It's not revenge trading. That's again what a lot of traders will do. They'll revenge trade, trying to make back their loss. This is a pattern which is still there, I've just been a bit unlucky in getting stopped out. So, but I'll manage the risk. So I'm not bothered about trying to make back the loss. I manage the risk, and then we'll just see how it goes. So I've just calculated it. It's around about 1.5 lots, I think it's going to be. So yeah, so it was 3 lots last time. It looks like it's still going to be around about the same sort of stop loss level. It might be a little bit less. So I'll just press pause and get the tickets ready. So I've taken this down to a 5-minute chart now. I'm just looking for us to get down to this low down here. Get down to this low here. I've estimated it'll probably be about 76, something like that on here. So it'll be about a 15 pip or so stop loss. I'm only trading this one at 1.5 lots. So that's what I'm looking for now. So I'm just keeping it on a 5 minute chart for now. See if it can start to break here, and then we'll just see. Stop will be at the high, which is around about 92. Oops. Now I've clicked on the chart there. I need to bring the deal tickets back because they were hidden behind. There they are. Okay, I'll press pause while we're waiting. Okay, right, so here we are. So shorting at 77. Short at 77 on both of those. So let's now bring this up. So now yet again, going to put, blimey, a lot of trading today. There's the orders. There they are. So the stop is now going at 137.92. And here's the other one. Did I say? Yeah, 137. Yeah, 37.92. Okay. So that's the two positions that are in there now. Both got executed at 77 with the stops at 92. So it is a 15 pip stop roughly. With only a smaller position. I've explained why, and I think it's something that people forget sometimes. You know, they get so, especially with day traders, they get so caught up in, you know, thinking they've got to make their money back, or rather than saying, well, no, protect the capital, still take another trade, but just reduce the position size. And yes, if this one becomes a winner, it may well not may make all of those losses back, but who cares about that? It's about managing your risk and making sure that you don't, it doesn't become a crescendo and you just don't keep trade, and you just risk too much. So there we go. So it's had this little break. I was just waiting for it to come down a little bit here on the 5 minute chart, really, because all I was really looking for was on the 30 minute chart that it came down that little bit more there on the 30. So that's where we're at now. We'll soon find out whether this one is going to work or not work. But giving it a bit of a shot here today, because I do like the pattern, as I keep saying. And sometimes you just get nibbled out on these trades, and then the analysis still plays itself out, and that's why you have to take the trades again sometimes, and like today. So I'm giving it a shot here, the third time lucky, and we'll see how it goes. Now, as far as targets are concerned, like earlier, the target is likely to be down at that 4 hour 20, which is what I've been talking about all morning. So but you know, we'll see what we can do if it does come down. So as far as trade management and stuff is concerned. So for now, well, let's actually go back to that 4 hour chart. Where is that 4 hour 20? It is, if I drag it across a little bit, it's going to flatten off a little bit, but it's currently at, just looking across the side, around about 137.35, let's call it. 137.35. So if I've got in at 77 and it was to get down to 35, so that's 40 pips, and I risked 15, so it'll be a bit under 3 to 1 risk reward, or reward risk. So we'll see. It's got a lot of work to do that, it feels like right now, but we'll see how we go. Right, I'll press pause. Go. Okay, just back. Now, cable did have a rundown whilst I was off, and it's just come back all the way up and just stopped me out. So I don't think there's going to be much more I'm going to be doing today. I've been sniffing around the euro, but really that was if cable was coming off. But just been one of those days where it's just not happening, and so I'll bring up the positions in a minute. So I just want to show you the chart first, that it come down for a bit, and then we just had some news out, and it's just come up on the back of that over the last hour or so. So let's have a look out at the hourly chart. Yeah, it just carried on going higher today. So the overall, nothing wrong with the overall analysis, it just didn't work today. Came down a bit, as you can see there on that 4 hour chart. I remember I was targeting that 4 hour 20, but not enough for me to bother moving my stops or anything like that at that point. So that's that. The euro dollar's been very small range day today as well. a lot of these markets have had small ranges today. Look at that small range there. And what's this now, 10 to 2 in the afternoon. So let's go back to its hourly chart. I was, like I said, I was looking to potentially short this if it rolled over here this afternoon, which it could still happen. It's 10 to 2 though, but yesterday's afternoon move really only got going past 3 o'clock. But at the same time, I was hoping that if it was going to roll over, that cable was holding off as well. And so the plan was that I would then start to move the stop down on cable if this euro started to go. If I now take a euro position, I've still got that loss that I've taken on cable as well. So as I said earlier on, I don't want to push it too much on a single day. And sometimes you have to just say, do you know what? It's not for me here today. If you're trading mechanically, as I've been chatting with the guys, if you're trading a mechanical strategy, you have to take every trade. I don't have to do that because I do use analysis and place every trade into context on any one given day. So that's not the case for me. So I can then look at the chart and say, do you know what? Yeah, I don't need to trade again. And so I can take a step back. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But let's go and have a look at the overall P&L. So it's dragged my P&L down here today. Look, let's have a look here. So you can see my open positions on the euro are still at £1,900, but as a result of the losses here on the pound, it's dragged my overall P&L down because I've lost, as you can just about see it there, £1,100. That was across 3 trades. So that was well managed. So in that regard, because 3 trades otherwise could have been £1,500. So I've kept it as close to 1,000 as I could there, even though it was 3 trades. So, but a bigger loss is there than I normally would like on a from an intraday trading perspective. But it's just the way it's gone this time. So you can't have it all. But an okay week. I banked about 650 yesterday, and but it's just not happened for me today. I'll press pause. You never know. I could take another trade, but I'm reluctant at this stage to do much else. So I'll press pause for now, and we'll come back to it. Resume. Okay, so it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There's not going to be any other trades. I think the takes that we can take from today is, one, if you're not mechanically trading, you can always reduce your risk, as I did here today, both on trade 2 and 3. So contain the risk, and also don't think that you have to make back your losses in a single day. Just accept it. It's not a day for you. Maybe the market's not moving in the way that your strategy that works for your strategy. You don't have to keep trading. Just accept it as it is and say, okay, enough's enough. There's always another day, because there really is in the markets, and the money will take care of itself. Just as and when you get your next trades or whatever, it'll happen. Don't think about the money. Just think about the process of, okay, waiting for the next right trade for you that's going to come along. Anyway, there we go. That's me done for the week, and so I'll leave you to it, and I'll be back for some sort of midweek video next week. Take care for now.